All right, for practice today, excuse me, we're going to be working on American Girl by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. There's two different there's a lead and a rhythm guitar part. I really don't know who tracked the second guitar part. I watched them live for a little bit and wasn't able to, I don't know. Petty was playing more of a chord-based thing, but this is Mike Campbell's part, the what I would consider the lead guitar part. Both kind of have some rhythm ideas throughout, and one's a lead guitar part, one's a rhythm guitar part. But we're going to be breaking it down, American Girl. It's my practice session through this. I'm going to be chatting through hey, what I'm focusing on, what I'm working on, kind of how I would tackle this piece out. If you guys want to help support the channel, become a member at musicbythemeasurespro.com. We have sheet music for sale, lesson exercises, good stuff like that. So we're going to dive in. I've not been playing a ton of electric guitar lately, so this is going to be a little bit of a, I don't know, just getting me started today, I guess, more than anything else. So at the beginning of the song, he starts with this, well, it's a D chord. It's a D5. And he's playing these 16th notes in the beginning. So I'm actually skipping the beginning. We'll break that down after we get this first measure. We'll use this as a little bit of a warm-up. So yeah. And in the beginning, I'm not even going to think about the chord. Just get this rhythm down. That 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a... Now, if you've seen me lately doing guitar exercises, I've been doing a lot of strumming, a lot of funk playing. That's going to help with the 16th note pattern for sure. Full speed is 115. All right, let me count that out. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a... You can see right after that he does 4 bars of repeat. Then he does little variations of it. The band chordally changes throughout where he stays on this part. Heartbreakers did that a lot. It's a cool sound. Very U2-ish as well. One might argue Celtic, as Nick and I have chatted about before. So we got this chord. And I'm going to try my best to get that D ringing out throughout, as a practice session. This might be a little rough. We'll refine as we go. But sometimes you're going to hear that. And I'm actually using my middle finger to mute these top strings. So if I do strum a little bit errant, if I get an extra note in there, you're not going to hear it. You're not going to hear that, which would be quite ugly. And we want to just start slow. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So let's hear how that compares to 60 BPM. E and 3 E, so around there. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So I always advise play with the pattern first. Just get those mutes going. You can hear every once in a while. I'll call myself out on these things because it's good for you guys to hear. It's good for myself to hear. That downbeat on the end of 3, sometimes I accent that. I want to take that away. Sometimes I'm not getting all the strings in there. I want to watch those things as I start playing and refining this. This mute technique is really nice. Oftentimes, students will watch my hands when I'm playing guitar, and they'll be like, "But you're not making noise on all those strings." Or they think I'm pressing a note down, and I'm like, "No. Use this as a mute, so you kind of have a little protection in your strum. It's like an insurance plan for your strum." All right, let's do some at 60. We're just gonna kind of get this tempo in our brains and the pattern down. We're not gonna worry about speed today. Today's about trying to figure the idea out. 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and Another thing to call out. You hear that second string's muted? So he's making that octave of D, muting the second string. One time as we were playing, as I was just playing, I pressed down a little bit. You don't want that F sharp in there. You want that D5. Thanks for all the hearts and smiles and likes. I appreciate that. All right, so 60 is pretty easy. Let's speed it up. Let's go to 70. So if your 16th note pattern strumming is pretty good, this won't be too hard for you. And I do this quite often with students where instead of like, hey, you got to learn the whole song, you got to learn the intro and all these little changes, learn one section, learn an idea, get it up to speed a little bit, and then you start learning all these variations. It's not going to take you as long, right? You've already done some groundwork. Let's go 80. Let's go 90 and then we'll look at other parts. So start with the mutes again. I'm skipping that eighth note for some reason. Probably because it's just faster. One, two, three, four. Keep on moving the three around. All right, we're going to try to do a couple good ones in a row, and then we'll move on to a different section. Cool. Now, I know myself well enough via my practice habits. Like, I got to get this up to like 120 and then slow it down to 115, and I'll play it tight. All right, so full speed 115. Let's look at this first measure. So, and these 16th notes. Yeah, my rhythm's not always the best. So we got a lot of up strums going where he's going one. I count that out. So it's 1 E and 2 and 3 and then it's a whole measure of rest after that. So 1 E and 2 and 3. Hey, thanks, Misa. My guitar playing. I say this when everyone gives me a compliment. I'm not just like doing one of those musician things. I met a lot of musicians throughout my life that go, oh, you're pretty good. And they're like, oh, I'm not, because they just want more compliments. I actually taught for 12 to 15 years in my life, and I didn't get really, really good. Like, I got good enough that I could I could play the stuff that I wanted to, but like I have a lot in my playing that I'm working to resolve and fix. And I think like series like this are exactly what I need to do to like put myself out there, challenge myself, play with metronome, all that good stuff that really, I don't know, forces you to get better quicker. All right, we're going to slow this down pretty quick. Just so I can count those. Let's try 60. Hopefully that's not too slow. So just that 16th note, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and that's I don't know, it's iconic, that rhythm is, so it's easier for me to hear that 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and let's see how that fits with 60. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a. Of course, I put that extra measure of hold in. Let's skip that for right now. Let's just get that timing down. And 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and. Now, let's talk about that. The minute I added the chord in, my rhythm went away. 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and. 1 E and a 2. It's a good little exercise for me, and if you guys need it, you can use it as well. 2 and 1 E and a. 1 E and a 2 and 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. Totally agree, Megatron. No one can be good right away. You just got to keep doing it. You know, I struggle. I was one of those guitars that got by a lot, just, playing the chords. And I could be comfortable, but I was always never, exact. And there's something about reading the sheet music and trying to glean as much information from, Mike Campbell, who in my mind was a genius. Or is a genius. He's still alive. So there's good practice in learning how to do it, and then deviate and make it your own and have fun with it, which is hopefully what we get to do more tomorrow. See how much I get done. So 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and. One E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. All right, let's speed that up. Main goal today is just get this intro into my hands and then refine it a little bit more tomorrow. Apt song. Tomorrow's 4th of July. We're doing American Girl. 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. One thing I love about 16th notes, and I've kind of only developed this in the last maybe 2 years, is really hearing, I know where 2 is going to be, all right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, all I need to think about is 1, a 2, 1, a 2. So you just kind of put that 16th note right before where you know the 2 is going to be. 1 E and a 2. And then in this song, take out the 2. 1 E and a 2. And 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's do a couple more at 70. 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3. 1 E and a 2 and. 1 E and a 2 and. I'm rushing those 16th notes every once in a while. 1 E and a 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. So right now, just because of what I want to kind of accomplish in the next 30, I got 30 minutes. Feel good about that. Again, just the idea. We're not worried about speed, just getting it in your fingers. So let's look at this measure as well. It kind of breaks up before the whole band kicks in, or the whole band kicks in there. It's one of those two things. Oh no, this is before the band kicks in. So this is same 16th note idea in the beginning. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 E and We're just gonna cut that out a bit. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 let's try that. We'll go back to 60 though for this measure. And again, do it on mutes, do it a couple times, and then as soon as you're feeling comfortable, bring the chord in. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and go to 70. You can hear if I don't pay attention, that 16th note gets sloppy. Now the cool thing is, spending 2 days on this song will resolve a lot of that for me. And then in the next song, it kind of becomes a transplant, a clone. You carry ideas over. And 3 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. Okay, so I mean that's the beginning part, and you play some variations of that. So tomorrow I'm just gonna spend more time on this, but it's pretty much all the same. Yeah, there might be like an extra, like here's 2 down strums in that measure. Usually there's only that 1/8 note. All right, so that is that guitar part. Now we're gonna look a little bit at the second guitar part and just kind of work on both of them the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. Clearly I zoomed in too much on that one. All right. So the second guitar part's also playing that D5. Probably don't need to start this at 115 either. Now both these sheets are on our website for sale if you guys want to learn the song, follow along. Obviously you can follow along with me without buying the tab, but we appreciate it when you do. So we got this I'm excited about tracking both those guitar parts together because it's a challenge that I haven't done a lot of in recent time, if ever. And kind of the direction that I kind of want to head and push myself of playing more stuff and tracking more, I guess is the better way to say that. So he is getting that 5th string in there when he strums. So it's, I got to think about that. So it's 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. So those are almost all the same except for that third measure is 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. And he puts 8th notes in there instead. So, all right, same exact thing. Now, maybe you guys don't have this issue, but whenever I add like a ghost note, it's easy for me to want to rush that. So as I'm strumming through this, I'm going to kind of like fake my hand or make my brain think about putting that 1 E and see, even that 1 E and 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2, 2 and E and, yeah, 2 E and, there we go, yeah. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and. So after those 16th notes, you got some offbeat stuff too that we need to work on. All right, just mutes. 2 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and. Now, when I'm learning a piece, do I want to play it all in time? Yeah, I kind of would like to. I'm getting to the place where I can sight read quicker, play it in time better, but also like give yourself some grace. I'm more using the metronome to be like, this is the timing, this is the idea, this is the feel of the song. And almost it's a test though too, right? Like right now I know, hey, I can play that at 60. Well, can I play it at 70? And then you can kind of leave your practice session. You know, the best thing you could do actually is print out the paper, write 70. I can play this line at 70. I can play this line at 80. You give yourself a visual cue then when you come back tomorrow to practice, you'll be like, hey, I know I can play this part at 70. Can I play it now at 80 comfortably and sound good at it? All right, we're going to do 70 on this one, and then we're going to just do these 4 measures because it's pretty repetitive. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, a 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 E and 3 and 4, slaughtering that 2 right now. 1 and a 3, 4, 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4, 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4. Cool. So let's do all 4 of them in a row. Just note that that one is 2 downstrums in a row. I don't think there's anything else. No, nothing else that's really different. 2 and 3 and... a 2, 3, 4. 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4. 1 and a 2 and 3, 4. So that measure's different. So let me pause and yeah. So they are a little bit more different than I thought. The second measure is 1 E and 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. So the next measure, third measure, 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and so those 2 are very similar. And last measure is the same as the second one. Yeah. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and now let's play those 4 in a row so I kind of like get used to that sight reading before we throw the metronome on. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, let's see if I can do that with metronome. It's easier when you're playing by yourself. You know, you don't have to worry about like, I don't know, keeping that consistent time throughout. So we'll jump in on mutes. 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 1 E and 2 and 3, 4. So I gotta count that 1 and 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 and 3. So that's a mouthful for me. So probably need to slow it down to like 65 just so I get used to counting that. The minute I stop counting either out loud or in my head, I stop paying attention. I just really like drift off into space and not think about what I'm doing, which for right now, this part's not complicated, but just the small little changes is enough to throw me off. 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1 a 2. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and I started playing the wrong one. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and 3. 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 E and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 E and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. Mutes 1 and a 2 E and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3. 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3. So that offbeat strumming gets me, and so like I'm surprised that this part's harder than the other part. Maybe the other part just being a lot of 16th notes is easier for me. Don't know. So that part will just take a little bit more work, which is totally fine. You got to practice. All right. So this riff I'm really excited by. It's just the second guitar part that's going on, but it adds a lot to the song. Now, I'm not a great lead player by any means. I can play a couple things, but and I mean, it's a riff, right? And I won't say it's lead, but like some of the lead skills that I lack are like my timing of like doing that slide. 1 E, 1 E, right? Like you heard me, I was making that a ghost note slide. So some of those things I need to think through in my playing and really resolve. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and give your slides time. I do the same thing with hammer-ons and pull-offs. So like the best thing that I can do, I have 40 here, but let's try 35 or 36. Let's keep even numbers going. And we're just going to get this riff down. And we're going to play it a couple different ways to make sure that I'm not rushing that. I'm not, Now, as we get up to 115, it's going to sound closer to that, but 1 E and 1 E and yeah, again, anytime in lessons where I can get a student to be like, hey, let's simplify this. What is going on here? Okay, well, right, we're going 1 E. We just happen to be doing a slide. 1 E and 1 E and you just need to teach, well, I need to teach my brain how does that actually sound. How does 1 E and then represent it with a slide. So 36 might not be the right tempo. We're going to find out. It's really slow. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and how I'm much more consistent. Sorry, I was trying to talk with the metronome. Just do that enough times until you hear 1 E, and 36 is probably a little too slow. Good to hear it that slow. And all of a sudden your brain's like, hey, I know that how that's supposed to sound. I know that timing. And you mess up less. All right, let's go to 40. Let's do one more section of that, just on that downbeat or that one, and then we'll move on. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and there we go. So then the rest of this rhythm is going to take me a bit. So let's get rid of that little blue. Let's just break this down. So we got 1 E and 2 E and I think we can play this whole thing though. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Now again, you hear me actually like respecting the rhythm is what I would call that. Like I'm not rushing those slides anymore just because I focused on beat 1 for like a couple of minutes. I need to count that. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So 40 should be a good tempo for me to count that. We're going to try to jump in and we'll see what happens. 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Just like that, you have it. So I think the best thing for us to do, I got like 10 minutes left, if that, is look at 1 or 2 more of these patterns. I think they change. So they changed a little bit every single time, it looks like, and then I'm sure there's a couple that repeat. So I would keep the tempo personally slow for my own practice, and then just kind of work on 2 or 3 of these patterns, get 4 of them down, and then hit all 4 of them, and then start turning the tempo up a little bit. At first, you don't want to do too many complications because you really want to just work on like, what's the idea here? What's he doing? Why is he playing it this way? Get the idea down, get it in your fingers, and then start moving up in tempo. You move up in tempo right away, you're just going to play sloppy. I've played sloppy my entire life. I'm trying to not play sloppy anymore. So on measure 2, it'd be 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and. So the big thing for me is it's just going to be rhythm changing there. And then the fact that that 4 on beat 2 is on the and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and. Good timing stuff to work on. 2 E and 3 E and 4 and. See what I mean? Like the minute I got to 4 and, it was tough for me to hear 4 and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3. 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. Just like that. Just it's more of a chill practice. I'm not really concerned with learning the song. I just want to get the ideas down, right? And then it'll become a part of your playing. All right, next measure. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. And these are similar enough. We're just going to jump in. 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and. Minus that bad note. Last of the 4 measures, and then we'll try to put it together before I'm out of time. Might happen, might not. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so me being picky about my own playing and later I'll listen to the track and see exactly how he's playing it. What I should say is like you hear that little bit of so from beat 2, I play 5, 5, and then oftentimes you hear a little bit of a pickup from me. Like I raise my finger a little bit and you get a muted no, or you get a little bit of quiet. I doubt that's actually happening. I bet he's going, oh, wait, I can't play that fast. Like I'm lifting up a little bit before the 4 and, probably give myself enough grace because it's the first time I'm really trying to zone in and learn this. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and now saw that mess up my timing. 4 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and there we go. Zoom out. Let's just do those 4 in a row. And oftentimes when I'm trying to put 4 in a row, I could practice it first without metronome. Because you got to think through all these different changes, different rhythmic changes going on. So from measure 1 of the sequence, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and almost got through with no mistakes. That's just a lot. And again, 10 minutes of counting this, maybe 5 minutes of counting this, you won't have to count it again. You just need to get in your head. After a while, you start seeing the pattern, and you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. All right. Got enough time for a couple run-throughs, and then we'll call it a good practice. 2 E and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and some mistakes there. I'm playing the wrong pattern. E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and. that's what I have time for today. I'm happy I did this, though. Even if the short practice, or the first practice is short, it's better to just get it started. Kind of like rip the Band-Aid off, start learning these ideas and seeing like, okay, I can play that part at this tempo, I can play this part of that tempo, and then just from there start refining and getting better and better. All right, I'm going to go have some pizza and beer with some friends, and tomorrow we're going to do a bunch of tracking like this for American Girl. A good song for Independence Day, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. Talk to you all soon.